Low-key.
From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
There is nothing like an upset of a ranked rival to turn things around, and UNC women's basketball sent the puppies packing. Good morning and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Lee Jeffries.
And I'm Ashley Humphrey. Thank you for joining us. Carolina fans sold out Carmichael and students lined up around the building to support the women's basketball team as they faced off against number 6 NC State last night. The game started off slow, but big shots from Deja Kelly and Alyssa Utsby allowed the Heels to get a small lead, 22-20 at the end of the first. Alexandra Zelaya was a powerful force throughout the second with multiple threes. And there's another, paired with this nice right-handed layup by India Navarre. The Heels led by 7 at half, and the third ended 61-51 thanks to a buzzer beater shot from Kelly. Did she call bank? And in the fourth, junior Maria Gokdang racked up points in the paint, paired with consistent threes from Lexi Donarski, who totaled 23 points, allowing the Heels to upset the Wolfpack 80-70.
Toughness. Like, we play for each other, and we have a lot of fun playing out there, so obviously it feels good to get wins like these ones, but no matter what night it is, we're always going to come out and fight together.
It might be drizzling outside, but it was raining threes inside Carmichael Arena last night. To break down this upset, let's go down the lane with women's basketball analyst Daniel Masterson. Daniel?
Ashley, I don't know about you, but I think Coach Courtney Banghart just might have been watching the program last week. I was begging this team to turn to the three ball for its offense, and the Heels did in a huge way last night against the 6th ranked team in the country. For Carolina, it wasn't the usual suspects. Early in the game, the Heels' two big lineup wasn't working at all, and Banghart saw that, and she adjusted quickly, getting India Navarre and Alexandra Zelaya into the game. Now, State got off to a really hot start. As you see here, they're up by 6, and the Heels really need to get going on offense. But on this possession, it's the end of the shot clock, and they have struggled in those situations all year long. So what do? They go back to the basics. This is a really simple pick and pop with Zelaya and Deja Kelly, but when she catches the ball here, look, she has 0.7 seconds left on the shot clock. She's got to get this up fast. She lets it fly with confidence, and she puts it in, and that gets the Heels going. As you see here in the third quarter, they're now up by 5, and this time, it's India Navarre's turn. Gokdang is going to trigger this action at the elbow here, and as you see this play begin, Usby's going to set this pin down, and India Navarre has so much space on that wing. She gets it, and she rips it quickly, and that's money for her. And now, when you got to close out the game, you do that with the best shooter on your team, and that's Lexi Donarski right here. They're going to start this action by running a pick and roll with Deja and Maria Gokdang, and as you get right here, Donarski's looking like she's going to set a double screen, but really, she sees this space on the wing, and that's what she wants. She slips it, State doesn't communicate right, and she rips it, and that is game over for the Heels. If you see on the second angle, she lets this thing fly with absolute confidence, holds the follow through, and hits a little celly on her rivals. That was one of her 5 threes on the night. A night that saw the Tar Heels make 11 of their 21 attempts from downtown, which helped them tame the Wolfpack. Ashley?
Daniel, that performance was probably the best we've seen the Heels play all year, so what was different last night?
Honestly, Ashley, I think that Courtney Banghart pitched pretty much a perfect game. She made the early adjustments I mentioned with Navarre and Zelaya, and when State began sticking tight to shooters on the outside because of that, Banghart countered with Gokdang in the post. Basketball is a game of adjustments, and in this one, Banghart had every answer she needed.
What a great start to the final stretch for the Heels. Thanks, Daniel. Now, Lee, this game was a second unit showdown. NC State only had 5 points off the bench, while Alexandra Zelaya and India Navarre had a combined 24 points off the bench. That's something this team hasn't done in over a month.
Ashley, I absolutely agree. If there's one thing we learned from this game last night, it's that India Navarre needs to start. She stretches the floor, and then by adding that extra shooter, Kelly and Donarski, they have more room to operate.
I completely agree. I'm hoping Coach Banghart will make these changes before the team faces the number 8 Virginia Tech team.
Ashley, we're going to see you on Saturday. Moving to the men's side, the team takes on Virginia in a huge game tomorrow, and the key to success, look no further than star transfer Harrison Ingram. Alongside RJ Davis and Armando Bacot, Ingram has become a nightmare for opposing teams. Whether on the offensive or defensive end, Ingram just makes winning plays. You should also expect another dominating performance from the duo of Davis and Bacot as they look to steer this team back into the race for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Charlottesville seems to be a place of horror for the Heels. Let's go to the top of the key with our men's basketball analyst, Aman Patel, to see why the Heels haven't won at UVA since 2012.
Lee, with no midweek game for the Heels, all eyes were on the Virginia Cavaliers. And yes, we saw the pummeling they took against Virginia Tech, but make no mistake, this Cavaliers team will be ready. Before the loss of the Hokies, this team was 11-4, and the Hoos have only lost 1 game at home. The reason Virginia is so good is its patented pack line defense. So let's break down what that is. The idea is to have players play on this line, 2 or 3 feet inside the three-point line, giving space on the outside. And in this man defense, the man covering the ball is going to be playing tight. The Cavaliers are also very aggressive, hedging screens and denying the ball to the middle. So when you see the roll off the screen, you're going to see defenders start to peel off to deny the ball to the middle, forcing it to the outside, and then the ball ends up in the post. And now the defenders are going to creep in to deny the spin to the middle, forcing the ball back to the outside. The idea is to keep everything in front of you and dare the opposition to consistently make good decisions and knock down long threes. So now let's see the play in action. Right? We talked about that line. You're going to see the Cavaliers right here. They're playing that line 2 or 3 feet inside the three-point line, and off the screen, you see them hedge the screen high, deny the ball to the middle. Once it swings, it goes to the post. All the defenders start to creep in, and then they get that block on P.J. Hall. UVA isn't flashy, but they win with rotations, communication, and fundamentals. Lee?
Aman, which players for the Heels need to step up in order for Carolina to win its first game in Charlottesville since 2012?
I think Elliot Cadeau is going to be huge in this game. He's the playmaker and the executor of the offense. Him understanding when to get the ball to which guy is going to be huge. And don't be surprised to see Armando Bacot slip a few more screens than usual and for some off-ball screens to free up RJ Davis and Cormac Ryan.
Let's hope to end a sad streak in Carolina history. Thanks, Aman.
Now, reporter Danny Hart takes us down Raleigh Street to Fetzer Gym, where the annual Carolina Blue Cup was held.
The Carolina Blue Cup is a team handball tournament which has been organized every President's Day weekend by the Carolina Handball Club since 1990, a year after the club's founding. The tournament, which involves teams from all around the country and even some in Canada, is played in a round-robin knockout format. For 34 years, the Carolina Handball President has organized and kept the tournament running as smoothly as possible. This year is no different, with the responsibility going to President Malachi Jowers, the team's offensive left wing.
Yeah, so it's just working with the United States Handball Union. They're basically the governing body for the entire country. So we're working with them just to get all the teams invited, collect entry deposits, make sure all the legal stuff's in order, all the safety stuff's in order, bringing in referees, all that things, working with Campus Rec to get the gym space, just everything down to a T almost.
The electric 12-team tournament includes college teams, alumni teams, and adult clubs. Because of this mix of participants, players found a unique blend of diverse backgrounds and playing styles, according to Sham Blake.
You're not only learning a lot from these people just as players, but just as people in general, and that's something that I don't think a lot of other sports have to that extent. It's different because everyone has a different upbringing, everyone has a different a different avenue into getting to handball. So that's just really nice to be able to be around.
While West Point Black took home the cup this time, Carolina is looking to bring the cup home next year. I'm Danny Hart, reporting.
Carolina Handball will be hosting nationals here in Chapel Hill later this semester.
It's an action-packed weekend for the number 8 women's lacrosse team with 2 games in 3 days, starting tonight as Jenny Levy and company take on number 15 Virginia. UNC kicks off ACC play tonight in Charlottesville, but travels back to Chapel Hill for a quick turnaround to face High Point on Sunday. To go 2-0 on the weekend, the Heels will look to their balanced scoring attack, headlined by graduate attacker Ashley Humphrey, who has an impressive 15 points in her first 3 games in Carolina Blue. 7 Tar Heels have scored at least 5 goals this season, so both opposing defenses could have their hands full with the flurry of Carolina attackers. Face-off for tonight is set for 5 p.m., with Sunday's match starting at 1 p.m. at Dorrance Field. The 15th ranked Tar Heel men's lacrosse program will take on number 10 Johns Hopkins on Carolina's home turf tomorrow afternoon. UNC will need to lean on Owen Duffy, Dom Petramala, and Logan McGovern, who accounted for 11 of the team's 19 goals in their most recent game against Fairfield, if they want to win the ranked matchup at home. On the defensive end, the Heels will need to limit Johns Hopkins attackman Garrett Denon, who's coming in with a 34-game goal-scoring streak. Face-off is at 12 p.m.
Baseball fans, it's time to turn your swag on as the 15th ranked Diamond Heels enter a top 25 in-state clash with the ECU Pirates this weekend. Coming off a narrow victory against Elon on Tuesday, UNC looks to continue their undefeated start to the season. Vance Honeycutt is already in midseason form with 3 home runs in the first 4 games. But the reinforcements have arrived in the form of transfers Alex Madera and Parks Harbor, who are each hitting above 400 to start the season. And you can't forget about Mr. Reliable Casey Cook, who is currently hitting .625 and leading the team with 9 RBIs. First pitch today is at 5 p.m. at Boshamer Stadium, with the next 2 games away. UNC softball had a successful home opener against UNCG on Wednesday afternoon in Anderson Stadium. The game began with a possible SportsCenter Play of the Week contender with outfielder Alex Coleman's insane grab to end the inning for the Heels. Freshman Kate Bubela led the Heels at the plate with a career best 3 of 4. Graduate Lexi Godwin hit a 3-run homer, and check this out as she contributes to the explosive offense. UNC started off the home schedule with a 6-4 win and 11 big hits against the Spartans.
The Carolina women's tennis team is in Florida to take an opening swing at ACC play. Tonight, the Heels will face the Florida State Seminoles and then will travel to Miami on Saturday to fight against the Hurricanes. 4 of the UNC doubles teams enter the weekend ranked by the ITA, as well as 8 ranked singles players. Star player Fiona Crawley has a chance to clinch her 130th singles triumph and her 85th doubles win. Elizabeth Scotty and Riley Tran have their sights on their 85th career singles victories. Before UNC takes the court outdoors, let's go cross-court with our tennis analyst Kyle Lobenhofer for a deeper look at how this season is shaping up. Kyle?
Lee, a few weeks ago, I talked about how deep this UNC roster is, and I showed this graphic. Well, today, it looks a little bit different. It looks like this. Reese Brantmeyer is out with a broken knee. That is a huge loss because she is currently ranked nationally at number 2 and is one half of the number 1 ranked doubles pairing with Elizabeth Scotty. And this injury cost the Heels. She played in the first round of the ITA Indoor Championships, but not in doubles, but not in singles. The very next day, they played the team that was hungry for revenge for the NCAA Championship match, NC State. Now, my guess is the shock of losing your Court 1 teammate and having to play up a court, mixed with NC State's fire, was what caused the Heels to have a tough day, ending in their first loss at the ITA Indoors in 5 years. Then UNC lost the consolation match against Virginia the very next day, which probably stemmed from the shock of the defeat the day before. Now today, the outdoor season starts. The team has had nearly 2 weeks to recover from their losses and prepare for the upcoming season. This team's depth is going to be tested. In Brantmeyer's absence, everyone has to play up a court. However, this team should be okay. Fiona Crawley played on Court 1 nearly all of last season. Annika Yarlagata is currently ranked 11th nationally, and Carson Tangelig is 14. And there are 4 other people on this roster who are ranked. The season is going to be a lot tougher now, but you can't ever count this team out. Lee?
We wish Reese Brantmeyer a very speedy recovery from her injury and hope to see her stronger and better than ever when she's ready. Thank you, Kyle. UNC Gymnastics will be traveling to Clemson tonight with hopes of securing another win in their final regular season ACC competition. Junior Julia Noer stole the show last weekend against Pitt, scoring 2 9.9s on the day and winning the all-around title. On bars alone, Carolina had 3 athletes, Gwen Fink, Lolly Decanoisa, and Isabel Schaefer, hoist a 9.9 or higher. Coming off a huge weekend full of season highs, the Gym Heels hope to continue this momentum and energy against the Tigers.
With the regular season almost over for the Carolina wrestling team, they'll have to take on the team from down the road later today. It's senior night for the Tar Heels, honoring wrestlers such as Max Shaw and Connor Alexander. The Heels have a 7-duel win streak against Duke, and they're hoping to slide past them again to go into the ACC championships. Without star Austin O'Connor, someone will need to step up. Maybe with Spencer Moore gaining confidence with technical falls, or Max Shaw winning key matchups in high-stakes moments. The Heels hope to send Duke back to where they came from with a loss.
On Monday, we gave you our 2 best plays of the week, and you guys voted on our Instagram stories. And the winner is UNC gymnast Julia Noer on vault, scoring an almost perfect score, but we'll settle for a 9.9. She had an overall outstanding night in each of her events, leading the Heels to the victory against Pitt last Friday at Carmichael Arena. Fans hope to see more amazing landings like that today when the Gym Heels faced off against Clemson.
Reporter Frank Anderson introduces us to one member of UNC club flag football team who finds meaning outside the hash marks.
Carolina isn't the first place senior Hari Pinapaka meshed cleats with turf.
I grew up with a love for sports, and football was one of the first sports I played in my life.
Pinapaka decided to join club flag and what he gets out of being involved.
I know how important it was for me, not just for exercise or any basic things, but also to help that mental strain and just have fun playing football and with my boys too.
It isn't just football that Pinapaka found meaning at Chapel Hill, but the desire to not just leave a mark on the turf.
Hearts for the Homeless is actually an international organization that essentially is trying to help empower the homeless population and educate them with knowledge about how to take care of themselves.
UNC's H4H Club focuses on the Chapel Hill and Carrboro areas.
We help to provide blood pressure screenings. We also do visual acuity screenings.
UNC's H4H Secretary Daniela Danilova says the club has been very meaningful to the people it helps.
I really do see the impact that we're having in the community because people keep coming back and they remember our faces, they remember our names.
At the end of the day, we're all cut from the same cloth and we all want to achieve the same things in life. We just want to be happy, healthy, and for some people, we may have certain luxuries and privileges where it makes it easier than others.
H4H looks to continue to score big by helping others in need. I'm Frank Anderson reporting.
The club flag football team has their first game against South Carolina tomorrow. And Lee, not to brag, but I've had a pretty great flag football career of my own. My team won the co-ed intramural championship last semester.
Ashley, I cannot say the same, but I know those championship t-shirts are a prized possession for all UNC students. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Monday as we recap another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.